So like this fact that we're debating whether or not someone's anti-Semitic, I argue it's irrelevant. Yeah. No, you don't want to hang out. I don't want to hang out with people that are anti-Semites because I don't want to hang out with them, but they're allowed to be that. They're allowed to say it and they're allowed to talk about it. And it's very frustrating to me that we're getting lost in this because now we're seeing what's happening with the First Amendment shit.
Speaking of being allowed to say whatever you want.
Okay, go ahead.
State of Israel has decided that they're just not playing around anymore. They're just letting it fly. So, hey, let it fly, baby. Here's the Israel finance minister, and we will also get to Netanyahu.
אני חושב שהגיע העת, ואמרתי את זה לראש ממשלה, ואני אומר את זה גם כאן, להתנפל על עזה, לכבוש אותה, כפי שהבטיח לנו הרמטכ"ל הנוכחי, כשנכנס לתפקידו על דעת כן, ולא לפחד, כן, לכבוש את רצועת עזה, להקים בממשל צבאי, לקחת להם שטח, לממש את תוכניתו של הנשיא טראמפ, ולהוציא 1.5 מיליון, 2 מיליון עזתים מעזה. יש שיח מאוד מעמיק, וצריך אגב להשקיע בזה ולעבוד בזה, כדי לייצר אלטרנטיבות של מדינות אחרות.
I'm pretty sure there's a warrant out for this fucker.
Well, there should be for all of them, but this is
He's
Israel.
one of the ones listed. That's Smotrich.
Yes. I don't know if he is. I know Ben Gvir is. I don't know if he is, but yeah, but
I think it's the three of them. It's Smotrich, Ben Gvir, and Netanyahu. And this, but you know what? So again, a white man. This is a white man that plays the anti-Semite card.
Right.
ברירה, אלא לעשות את זה כאן ועכשיו.
ואם לא זה כולל גיוס מילואים?
אם אתה הולך למבצע ענק, אתה מגייס את כל הצבא.
That's annoying too. That is so frustrating. Stop calling people Gazans. Yeah. That's not a thing. That's the name of a concentration camp, quite honestly. I mean, it's like, that's offensive. Like the whole thing, he's so gross.
Well, this is also their version of the final solution. This is what they're doing. This was always the intention. This was the intention from the very beginning, which is why call me conspiratorial, I don't really care, but I do believe that October 7th was orchestrated by Netanyahu along with other players to ensure that this opportunity was going to present itself. Everything happens for a reason. There's a reason why the pressure was put on Trump 7 years ago to move the embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. Everything has, again, we're only looking at this from...
Yeah, because Obama didn't have the balls to do it. He wanted to. Let's not forget, he wanted to. He didn't have the balls to do it. That's
what
the
I'm saying. What I'm saying is that in the here and now, we don't take the time to realize that the actions of yesteryear is what leads to why we are here today. Everything has a process, which is why, Blakeley, if you need a recommendation for another book, our friend Ken McCarthy, JFK and RFK versus Zionist Extremism, is a great book to read on. And if you need any more links to the JFK assassination and the role that Israel clearly played in the assassination.
Yeah, Ken did a great job.
Because one of the main reasons that Jack was killed was because he did everything in his capacity to ensure that Israel did not get a nuclear weapon. And we all know that ever since Jack's assassination, no one has brought this world to its knees in a more profound way than the state of Israel. And do you need more proof? Well, here's Mr. Netanyahu to solidify that sentiment.
ישבנו עד שעה מאוחרת בקבינט והחלטנו על פעולה עצימה בעזה. זו הייתה המלצת הרמטכ"ל, ללכת, כפי שהוא אמר, להכרעה של החמאס. ובדרך הוא חושב שזה יסייע לנו גם לחלץ החטופים, ואני מסכים איתו. אנחנו לא מרפים מהמאמץ הזה ולא נוותר על אף אחד. תהיה הנאה של האוכלוסייה, כדי להגן עליה. דבר אחד יהיה ברור, לא ייכנסו ויצאו. נגייס מילואים כדי שיבואו יתפסו שטח, אנחנו יוצאים מהשטח, רק אנחנו עושים פשיטות ממה שנשאר, אנחנו לא שם. זו לא הכוונה.
אוקיי.
הכוונה הפוכה.
אנחנו הולכים לכבוש את רצועת עזה.
I think he's committing suicide. Like, I think he's suicidal, Netanyahu. I do. I think he knows he's not getting out of this alive one way or another. Either he's going to go to prison for whatever he was up for prison. Like, one way or another, he's not wanting to be, he's committing suicide. That's what all of this is, because he knows his military is in shit shape, that all his people that are ground people are coming home with PTSD and they can't even hack it. All they have are bombs, and that's not enough to actually win anything. They can just keep killing people. He knows that. He knows his economy is in the shit. And he knows that if he even goes anywhere near Iran, that Iran can level Tel Aviv. He knows these things, right? So if he knows these things and he keeps doing what he's doing, then I have to think that he is somewhat suicidal, like that he wants to go out with a bang.
But I still think the greatest danger of Netanyahu is that I think he does know that he's on borrowed time. And if there's anyone on this planet that is likely to drop a nuclear weapon as kind of like a finale, if you will, it's him.
Right. Yeah.
That's what makes him
more likely than Putin.
Or Iran. Like, I mean, the caucasity of the fact, like, how come we're allowed to have nuclear weapons? And by the way, Israel has them illegally. They're not supposed to have them. We're not even supposed to know they have them, but we all know that they have them, even though they're not supposed to have them. And that is a complete violation. And yet that's okay. But yet we're allowed to tell Iran that they're not even allowed to have a nuclear enrichment program. That's caucasity right there, people. Like, you cannot make this shit up.
Well,
Right.
Mr. Smotrich, I get. How do you say his name?
Smotrich.
I think, yeah, it's Smotrich.
Shit sandwich is what I'll call him. That's my Irish attitude about it. Okay, so Mr. Bagel Shit Sandwich has something to say.
את רצועת עזה, מטהרים אותה, שולטים בכל השטחים שאנחנו נכנסים אליה. סוף סוף, אחרי שנה וחצי שאני צועק את זה בכתב בעל פה מעל כל בנה, משתלטים על הסיוע ההומניטרי כדי שהוא לא יהפוך לאספקה לוגיסטית שמגיעה לחמאס. אנחנו מפרידים בין חמאס לאוכלוסייה ולסיוע ההומניטרי, מחסלים אותו, מכריעים אותו, מכניעים אותו ומשיבים את החטופים. זו הדרך היחידה.
Oh, just so you know, to have a frame of reference, Peter, he's their Paul Wolfowitz.
Oh,
He's
okay.
a mastermind person. Yeah, he's their Paul Wolfowitz.
So he's the little dick. Okay, all right.
He's that, and he's extremely evil.
Yeah, that haircut is a war crime. Okay, who told him that? Okay,
It makes him look like the dick that he is, doesn't it?
What? And it's funny too, because if you would have told me honestly a year ago about this book, which I already forgot the name, so hopefully one of you guys can send me a link after to the book. If you guys had told me that a year ago, I would have been like, conspiracy theory. But like now I'm like, no, that makes sense. That sounds like something that the Israeli regime would do. Like, it sounds exactly
We did a show about it. We had Ken on, and we've talked about it before. I mean, there were a lot of variables, but not the least of which was, yes, him keeping them from having nukes and wanting David Ben-Gurion and others to register as foreign agents. So there was some of that going on. But then he also did fire Alan Dulles around the same time. A lot of people. Who's to say they weren't all working together? I mean, I don't know, but it definitely has Israel written all over it.
It also makes sense as to why they don't want to release the files, because you hear a lot of people say, I've heard people argue, why not just release them? Because they go, oh, it's sources and methods and people we have to protect. And everybody is rightfully argued. No one is alive that was involved in that. And we know that like the CIA was, Americans don't really care. They just believe that. So what are you trying to protect if all the people that were involved are dead? Unless it's a country or another government that you're trying to protect that's still around that you don't want us to get mad at.
And we're not allowed to talk about. Again, like the one thing that you're not allowed to criticize, that's what's in charge. That's the ideology in charge. I mean, to me, at the end of the day, it's still American empire that is in charge. That's just our Israel project. And anytime that we start to implode, they're coming with us. Like they can't exist without us. So, but yeah.
That is why I gave away the game when I wanted to convince people that the problem with the health in America is not protecting Israel. That's the real problem. And anytime, and what's funny is I got to tell you something, Blakeley, and I know you'll appreciate this. So I was at RFK's launch in Philadelphia back in October of 2023, just October 10th, 3 days after it happened.
Wow.
And I got a press pass. So I'm in the pit. And who am I standing in the pit with for the longest time? Emily Austin. I had no idea who she was. I had just met her at random. And I noticed that she was wearing a Star of David, and I didn't really think anything of it. And yeah, she's an attractive girl. I'm not going to take that away from her, but I had no idea who I was dealing with, that I was basically dealing with an agent of the Mossad. Like, That's what, she was there for. That's what a lot of these other people are there for. The way that the Israel lobby has infiltrated our everyday lives and how much they have a stranglehold over our politics, especially when it comes to foreign policy, is something that everybody in this country should be aware of. And like you said, people get turned off by politics, but politics is going to do us if we don't do them.